Alright, this is how I make the biscuits. Jessie taught me this method, my mother-in-law, obviously. I might put this on YouTube anyway. I preheated the oven to 425 degrees. Alright, so in this bowl I have 2 cups of flour. And to that I'm going to add a little bit of salt. This is how I do it. I don't know how everybody else does it, but that's how I do it. Alright, and then I'm going to mix in the flour. And then I'm going to take some of this sharp cheddar cheese. And I'm going to add as much as I think I should. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to do that. Well, actually, there's a lot. This is a big bag. This is a lot bigger bag than I usually use, so I'll just use my hand. My hands are clean. And then I put it right around about like that. So this pretty much takes the place of the butter that you would normally cut in for biscuits. Cheese is fat, you know, so. And then I just mix it in. You can use less cheese, you can use more cheese, however you want to do it. Okay, and then I just mix that in to try to get the cheese incorporated as like evenly as I can. And then this is half. I filled milk to about here, and I used whole milk, but you don't have to use whole milk. You can use 2%, whatever. And then I filled it up the rest of the way to about here with water. I may need more water, but I use half milk, half water. And then I just pour some in like that, like about half of it. And then I'm gonna stir it. But as you can tell, it's not wet enough, so I gotta add more. And I'm just adding some at a time because you don't want it to be too watery, but if you do make it too liquidy, you can add more flour, but I don't like to do that. And then I'm gonna add the rest of that and see what we've got, because I may have to have more water, but it doesn't look like it. All right, so I'm mixing it and I'm making sure I scrape up the bottom and turning it over, and that's about where you want it. So one of these cups of liquid, half milk, half water, does 2 cups pretty good. So it looks like a sort of loose dough, but not too loose, obviously. You don't want it like pancake batter or anything. Okay, and then I take some of this flour. This is, oh, by the way, this is all self-rising flour. And I take some and I put it in my hand like that. And then I put a scoop. Now this scoop is going to determine the size of your biscuits. I usually make big biscuits. So I want to fill my hand with the dough. And then I put a little bit more flour on the top. And I don't care if I make a little bit of a mess on the counter, because you can always clean that up. And then I just roll it around in my hands, but you don't want to play with it too much. And then I just put it down on a greased cookie sheet, and I line mine with aluminum foil. So all I got to do is take the aluminum foil off and throw it away. All right. And then you always get more flour on your hand, and you want a good amount of flour on your hand so the biscuit dough doesn't stick like it did right there. All right. And then I get more dough. Try to pull some off, and then a little bit more, because I like a full handful of dough. And then you put more flour on the top, and then you toss it around like that in your hand, roll it, pat it a little bit, but you don't want to pat it too flat, because you want it to have some volume. And then I do the same thing over and over and over again, basically. Didn't have enough flour on my fingers that time because I got sticky on my fingers. And I try to like put them a pretty good distance apart. I guess you could put them right up close together if you want to, but I choose not to. Some people like their biscuits touching, I do not. But of course you can make smaller biscuits if you want to. But for what I'm showing you and for the time and everything that I'm going to be telling you for how long to cook it, this works for the big, like, grand size biscuits. And I try to make all my biscuits around the same size. I mean, they're not going to be perfect, obviously. But I like it doing it this way better than just drop biscuits, because drop biscuits just aren't very pretty to look at. I mean, these aren't wonderfully great to look at right now either, but by the time they come out of the oven, they'll look pretty good. My husband thinks so anyway. Guy recording me right now. Okay, and then last little bit, and these last two biscuits are gonna be smaller. Normally I have 6 biscuits that are around the same size, but today apparently I did something wrong. Of course, when I'm recording. But I don't do like even cups. I use 1/3 of a cup, and I just put like 6 really scooped 1/3 of a cups in there to make round about 2 cups of flour. So I hope that makes sense. And then there you go. So you got 6 biscuits, and then you're gonna put these in the oven, like I said, at 425. Start off with, I would say start off with 10 minutes and then see what they look like. And usually at the 10-minute mark, I will take them out, use a stick of butter, and just open it up and do like this on it, and they'll be hot enough that the butter will melt on top. And I like to use real butter, not that margarine crap, because it's ridiculous, it's horrible, and it's disgusting. And I don't want something they use to fatten up turkeys for Thanksgiving in my body. But real butter made with real milk, you know. And yeah, I just put it in the oven for 425 for about 10 minutes, then take it out, butter the tops, put it back in for an extra 5. If they look nice and golden brown and awesome, you can even stick them with a toothpick if you're not sure. If they come out clean, they're probably done. If they don't, put them in for another like 3 to 5 minutes. It just all depends on, they need to be golden brown and they need to be done on the inside. So stick them with a toothpick if you have to. But pretty much this is how you do it. It's trial and error. It took me a while to get to this point where I could do it, and it turns out pretty good. And that's it. So enjoy your cheesy biscuits. And like my sister said, she's planning on probably putting in like other seasonings, like garlic and probably some greens, yes, or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what she's gonna put in it. Maybe some bay, whatever, Old Bay or something. I don't know. But anyway, you can doctor them up however you want. Experiment. It's all good. But yeah. All right. Well, that's it. So enjoy your biscuits. Bye.